appreciate it very, very much. But not just for me and Annie and our family, but the main thing is if this can be used to encourage some of our young people into their own interests of academia and staying in school and using their own talents and capabilities in their own direction. If it can be used for that purpose, then the whole thing is worth it. We've had a lot of attention in our lives, and I won't go out stumping for new days, names for me or something like that. But I think it's good if it can be used for the kids. And if it brings attention to them that if they do stay in school, if they do have an interest in their country, and I think every American, including our kids, needs to have an interest in what goes on in the country, not just at election time, but keeping up on what the issues are and things. And that's the reason we have our school up there at Ohio State School of Public Affairs, is to encourage our young people to not only be active in a political sense, but in a sense of analyzing the issues of the day, which I think we do in this country more than most other countries in the world. It's one of the reasons why we're the type nation we are. And so I've said that I think this country has gotten to where it is largely on the basis of two things. From our founding days, we put more emphasis into education, number one. Education for everybody, particularly in the hard sciences, the math and science and technology. And we wound up with a general education system in this country, not a real system, but a general education interest that left us with the best educated citizenry in the world. And the second element that let this country develop better than anybody else was basic research. Looking into the new, the unknown. We learned to do things first, and with an educated citizenry, we were off and running. I need a little bit of investment in the way we went. And now we're in a time period where we're under more competition around the world in those areas. In general education, K-12 education in particular, I don't think anyone would doubt that we still lead the world in higher education, but we're behind already in K-12, and that does not bode well for the future. And so if we can, if something like having this commemorative day can bring attention to some of the possibilities of this country, and particularly for our kids, then the whole thing is worth it. So I'm very honored, and I told Tom a few minutes ago, I came by today to see what the vote was on this. Tom, thank you very, very much, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
I just have to tell you a couple stories. First of all, Annie Glenn, I mean, come on. I mean, what a lady, huh? She's a wonderful person, and they've known each other since they were toddlers. I think you came out the short end of this, Annie. But you know, Senator Glenn was the head of the Government Affairs Committee. I had some bill to provide a reward to government employees who did a good job, so I went over to Senator Glenn's office, and I'm talking to him about my bill, and he's got no interest. And finally I said to him, Senator, when we lost touch with you up there, and everybody was afraid that the capsule was going to incinerate, what was going on? He jumped out of his chair, he stood on his desk, and he had this module up on the top of his shelf. He gets it down. I couldn't get out of the place. It was fantastic. And we think about him as an astronaut, and what we don't think about, the combat missions. Is it 59 in World War II? Or 63? 59, 63, 63, 59, because he flew combat missions in Korea. And he shot down a number of MiGs over in the Korean War. I mean, this is not just John Glenn the astronaut. This is John Glenn that's done some remarkable things. And when we think about New Concord, Ohio, amazing. I mean, how it ever happened? Well, it's the hand of the Lord on John Glenn. There's no doubt about that, to do some fantastic things for our country. And in that military service, and he's up in space at 77. Did you like that, Ann? You didn't care, right? It was fine. The second flight was easier. Because you know, with the first flight, you know, he had a guy that when nobody knew what was going to happen, and I'll tell you what an incredible experience. I had an opportunity to fly with Senator Glenn in his plane one day on a trip to D.C., and it was a beautiful flight. He obviously piloted his plane, and he had one of his staffers, Mary MJ, was in the plane with us, and you know, as we flew over, it was just great. You know, talking about all these memories and the people he knew, and I mean, look, when you're a kid that's born in 1952, and you can remember watching a guy walk on the moon, you know, with your mom and dad, and you're with this guy, the first guy to orbit the Earth. I mean, it's just unbelievable, right? So it's fantastic. So we land, and then he proceeds to drive me to D.C. So we stop at a gas station, and he says, "Do you want anything?" And I said, "No, I don't. We have to get back there, Senator. We're going to miss these boats." He said, "Well, I'm going to get a candy bar and a Coca-Cola." So we get in a car and we're driving. The candy bar, by the time we get to the Capitol, is smeared all over his clothes. The Coca-Cola is spilling, and we're driving all over. I said, when we got to the Capitol, I said, "Senator, I will fly in your airplane. I'll go up in a spaceship with you, but there is no way I'm going to ever ride in an automobile with you."
I want a rebuttal time, man.
So it was just a great day for us. Now, this was the brainchild of Gary Cates, who couldn't be here with us today, and Tom Sawyer, who I've known for a long, long, long time. And Senator Sawyer has a distinguished career in the U.S. Congress, here in the legislature. He's just a guy that's dedicated to public service, and a really good man. So, Senator.